What's up, guys? This is Mike DePottey, your all-time regular host. I've got an awesome guest today on Destination DePottey, episode 3. Today, I just wanted you guys to meet a crucial person in my life, someone who a lot of you know and love, and if you don't know and love him, when you hear him speak, you certainly will. But Ray owns the gym that I go to, and so I am biased here. I never painted this to be unbiased, but he's my coach and he owns my gym, so I love him. And so basically, I wanted to have him on because we are in such a crazy, unprecedented time. But one of Ray's missions that I got to certainly equip him for is ensuring that this chaotic time does not mean that our fitness and health journey come to a screeching halt. And I know he's been doing a lot of cool things, and we'll dive into some of that. But every time Ray speaks, I get so fired up. He's drawn me in and invited me into deeper levels of commitment and growth. And so I just wanted to have him on and give him a chance to maybe encourage you while you're going through all kinds of things. Ray's a family man, has kiddos at home, and is still making it happen. So without further ado, Coach Ray, I just wanted to give you a minute to kind of speak life over us and encourage us all to keep moving.
Oh man, well thank you for that introduction, brother. I appreciate it. Yeah, man, this is a time that we would not have predicted 2 months ago. Right. Nobody had any idea that this was going to happen. I know I didn't. As far as fitness and wellness, to me, in times like this, I don't feel like that we honestly look at exercise and working out in most cases the way that we should. And to me, when we push ourselves, when we make that commitment, when we stay consistent, we're kind of mentally preparing ourselves for times as these where you got to dig a little deeper, you got to push a little harder, and you have to stay consistent, and you have to stay grounded. And I'm thankful that I was blessed with the opportunity to coach a gym and to have a group of people where I can kind of speak that life into, because at the end of this, unfortunately, some people will be hit very hard by this. And my ultimate goal, when I woke up this morning, I wrote this, my goal is to take a group of people who I can come into close contact with virtually, and for them to come out of this feeling stronger and more confident than when they first started.
Yeah.
Because again, at the end of the day, this is not something that we planned for, but we've been training for it. We've been prepping for it. I've been prepping for this mentally, physically, emotionally, trying to overcome obstacles every day. And that's the reason why I challenge the members of our gym the way I do, because at the end of the day, the body fat, the weight loss, the muscle gains, none of that matters when we get to a point like this. It's all about digging deeper.
That is so good. So for some people who may not know, I know that, a lot of businesses have had to adapt, and, you're a small business owner in this community. And so obviously I'm a member, so I know a lot of the stuff that you've been doing. Talk to me for a second, a little bit about what you've been doing to overcome the challenges and still give people an opportunity to feel part of the community and get moving.
So, this is crazy. And there's another fitness coach that I'm good friends with who said the same thing. When I went to school to really dig deep into the science of exercise, if you were to ask me, and a marketer that we used a while ago just tried to get me to go virtual and have these online classes, and I was so against it. I was like, no, I got to be hands-on with the people. And now, as a business, I was forced into a situation where if I wanted to continue to impact and encourage, I have to go virtual. I had no other choice. And a year ago, I literally fought the whole concept of virtual, to the point where the marketing company that I was working with came out with a plan. They made videos. They did all of this. They set up this platform. They didn't even charge the gym, just because they wanted us to go online so bad. And I was against it. And I was in, this whole world of just, come to the gym, your basic, this is what we're used to. And this has forced me out of what I would say is a comfort zone, but doing it now, being that it's a necessity, I've really had to adapt. But you realize that a lot of these businesses out here have this human ability to just adapt when necessary. And we've had to go completely virtual. We had to try to reach so many people through their homes through just a lens. And there's so many businesses out there that are doing the same thing. And I think that's awesome for us to be able to just adapt like that as humans. I think that's an amazing trait that we have. And that's one that so many of us have to tap into right now. No other choice.
Yeah. There's that old saying, like when your back's against the wall, you can kind of, you figure out what you're made of, like there's quite literally, I mean, the actual law says you can't operate like for people in your industry, like you can't even open the door. Like
I can't.
And that's, oh my gosh. Like if you would have ever asked me if I would have conceived a time like this, I guarantee you, I would have said, maybe under the most extreme circumstances, you're like maybe World War IV or something. I don't know. And I skipped 3 on that one because we probably wouldn't in 3. But I'm just saying, like, it's been a crazy time. And I was talking with somebody else. I was on another person's podcast earlier this morning, and they were talking to me and asked me. His podcast is DePottey Greens. It's about faith, family, and fitness. So he kind of takes you through a couple questions about all those things. And one thing that I just love, first of all, we talk about the importance of relationship. And I know that was kind of what you were talking about before. Like, it's much harder to maintain a relationship through a lens. And that's why you were so, adamant that like, come interact in community, embrace the culture. That's so huge. And that's been huge for me. Obviously the times when I'm embracing it are the times I'm consistent, and the times I'm not, or the times when I float off. But I just remember he asked me what I was doing right now. And I was like, well, I accidentally committed to doing 100 burpees every day and running 100 miles in April. And then he's like, what? And he's like, he goes, have you ever run 100 miles in a month before? I said, no, I have not ever run 100 miles in a month before. That was a new thing. And that was even more accidental than the burpees, because basically people are responding so well to what Ray and the team over at Elliott Fitness are doing. Every single day, people are checking in, really keeping people accountable. The community is so incredible. It's one of my favorite things about the gym. Just so awesome. Like just how every day people are on there talking. And I just saw this girl literally like posted an article that this random lady wrote about, like, I did 50 burpees every day for a month. Here's what happened. And Ray sees that and he's like, okay, awesome. And so like, I see a couple comments down. I'm like, oh guys, are we seriously doing 50 burpees every day? And it was like March 30th. And Ray's like, yeah, we're starting April 1st. But I'm going to do 100. You can do 50 if you want. And I was like, oh, geez, he just called me out on Facebook. So then I'm like, all right, I guess we're doing 100 burpees. So then I'm over here thinking like I'm on top of things. I'm doing my thing in the quarantine. I'm doing 100 burpees every day. I don't want to do burpees. Everybody hates burpees. And I post my, check-in on day 2, April 2nd. I'm like, 200 out of 3,000 knocked out. And then Ray comments like, good job, bro. 200 out of 3,000 burpees, 6 out of 100 miles, and then some other things. I'm like, what are you talking about? Who said 100 miles? Where did that come from? And then you're just like, yeah, man, we got to grow. We got to grow. And I was like, oh, geez. So then I had to run 6 miles on day 2, or else I'd be behind. And I'm about to go actually for my run right now today. You caught me right before it, but because I can't get behind. It'll suck at the end if you get behind. But man, I just know that it's been a tremendous blessing to me in this time, Ray. And I know that every single time you seem to open your mouth, it encourages people and it lifts them up, and it really just pushes them, honestly, to what they know they're capable of anyways. And maybe they're doubting it. And I love that.
And it's so much more behind that. It's because a lot of people, like, we feel comfortable doing what the norm. Okay, we feel comfortable doing the norm. So anytime that there's a challenge presented, like even with my coaches, like if someone challenges myself or my coaches to anything, we're going to do just a little bit more. And it's not because we want to be better than anyone else. It's not because we think we're better than anyone else, or that we're really chasing these gains, as they say. But it comes to a point where when you get towards the end of it, you want to quit. Like there's been so many times where I do these challenges, like I do challenges every month. There's so many times or I'm in the middle of the month, or I'm at the end of the month, and I'm like, I don't know how I'm going to do this, and I want to quit. But what has grown inside of me from that is, one, the confidence to believe that I can do it. But two, it's this tenacity that I am not going to sell myself short because I'm able to do it. And sometimes you got to dig a little bit deeper. And I take that into my business. My wife and I were speaking the other night, and I was telling her, like, I have this peace. Like, I read Isaiah when all of this started to happen. Isaiah chapter 3 was a true blessing to me. And it just speaks about how Jerusalem is falling and everything is crashing down. But the righteous will live happy. And that doesn't say that we're going to live in luxury and have all of this stuff, but we will have this peace in our hearts. And I was speaking to my wife, and I told her that no matter what happens with the economy, because I can't predict it, there's no one that can predict how the economy is going to be in 6 months. If they do, then they are this special prophet that I mean, no one but God knows what's going to happen in 6 months. But for me, I know that I'm going to be okay because I developed this tenacity, and it comes from these challenges that I've been doing for years. It comes from reading and so many things. But my fitness is directly related to how I translate that into life. It goes hand in hand. And I told my wife, I said, I'm not worried about 2 months or 3 months because whatever has to be done, I'm going to make sure it gets done. If I have to collect shopping carts in all of town centers parking for whatever, maybe somebody had a job, just come collect shop, whatever it is, how crazy it may seem, I am willing to do what I have to do to survive. I have no fear. I have no worry. I have no concern because I have developed this ethic that I am willing to work when my back's against the wall. I'm willing to work when it's going good. I'm willing to work when it's going bad. And that's what I want every member of my gym to develop. I don't want you to look at the scale and be like, oh, my weight's going up. Who cares? I don't want you to look at your biceps and, oh, they're getting bigger. Who cares? Because this is life. And when life hits you, if you don't have that tenacity to fight back, if you haven't challenged yourself on a regular basis to build that up, when it hits you like it's hitting us right now, there's going to be some people that's going to get knocked down and they're not going to want to get back up. But the people that I come in contact with, I want to encourage you. I want you to know that if you work and you're willing to work and you start challenging yourself and taking small steps and not have this fear of failing, that when life hits like it's hitting right now, you're ready to fight back. And for me, reading Isaiah 3 and all of the challenges that I've been doing, 10,000 push-ups, 3,500 pull-ups, like when my body's sore, I'm tired, I got blisters, I have no fear. And I believe in myself. I believe that I can do it. And at the end of the day, I tell myself, you're going to do it. And that's more important than just working out to lose weight. It's more than just fitness. It's much more than just fitness. And people really, really, really miss that when they try to ask, what is Elevate Fitness like? What do you do? I can't explain it. And that's one of the biggest reasons why I like to have the gym where people can come through the doors and you can feel it, because I can't explain it. I can't sell it. I can only believe in you as much as you believe in yourself, and I'll push you with all that I have. But at the end of the day, I want people to know that it doesn't matter how much weight you lose. You can lose 30 pounds in 30 days. If you don't have a foundation, in a year, that 30 pounds is coming back times 2. And the foundation that you built all of it on is going to crumble. But for the people that have been, we have so many members that have been with us for 2, 3, even 4 years. And right now, in this tough time, they are fighting, they are exercising, they're encouraging their family, they're encouraging friends. They got this tenacity. And I'm so thankful that God gave me this opportunity to do this with the people of this gym. And that's what it's about to me. It's for my family. They see me fighting. My daughter, she rode her bike while I ran 5 miles, and she was just watching. I pushed my pace, and she's just watching, and she's just seeing me dig. And then I go home and I do this workout, and they just sit and watch, and they like look at him dig, and I'm just trying to pull whatever I can out because there's always some more, and that's what I want people to know. There's more, and right now you need that more.
Yeah, that is so good, man. I love every bit of that. That is so, so good. And, I know that we've got another challenge starting on Monday. I'm looking forward to jumping in that, eating a whole lot of fruits and vegetables. I'm a big fruits and vegetable guy. Shout out again to local fare Jack's, the freshest produce around here in Jacksonville, Florida. Locally sourced farms, the fewest hands touch it than any grocery store. Anyways, so one thing to end on, that was so good. If somebody's seeing this right now and they're saying, because honestly, Ray, I got to tell you, my news feed, I'm not talking about people who are currently like in my life, but like people who I grew up with, people who I've had as friends for years and years. What is really, really blowing my mind is seeing how many people are actually being motivated to get up and move right now. And I've seen people who, over the years, you see like their health decline and they get into a less healthy lifestyle as years progress. I've seen people start running again, and it looks like we might have lost Ray.
No, I'm here.
Okay.
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. You're still there.
Hold on 1 second. I'm here.
Sure.
I'm still here.
There we are. Okay. So, yeah, I've seen all kinds of people be getting up and moving, and they're doing things, and really, it's just been really encouraging to me. But if somebody's watching this right now, and they're saying, holy cow, 100 miles in the month of April, 100 burpees every day. I don't know if I could get through 10 burpees or whatever. What would you say, like, is a good, just a starting point for somebody who's like seeing that and they know they need to make a change. They know that something's got to change. But in this crazy time, they want to start doing something. What would your advice to that person be?
If they're not doing anything, there's a misconception that you have to go extreme, and you don't. You don't have to go lift weights. You don't have to go do burpees. If you're not doing anything, do something. Walk. You can walk. You can set yourself up and say, I'm going to walk 50 miles in the month of April. I'm going to walk 25 miles in the month of April. If you don't walk at all, then, maybe walking 10 miles in the month of April, like a half a mile a day or something of that sort, is good. And then once you start on this track and you notice that, okay, I'm doing a half, but I can do more, do more. Like if you set a number for 20 and you're on pace to hit 20 in your second week, go ahead and up that number, but don't up it by just based on the average of what you can do. Give yourself give it a little bit more. So if you think that you can do 30, say 35, and just do a little bit more. Maybe it's some squats, maybe it's a plank, maybe it's walking the dog. It does not have to be extreme, but it has to be something. And once you start that something, take it just a little bit further. And I don't mean like, going from 50 to 100. I mean going from 50 to 55, from 100 to 110. Like small steps, just push yourself just a little bit more, but make sure that you stay in your range where you don't injure yourself, you don't burn yourself out by trying to do too much. For me, 100 miles won't burn me out because I've been doing things like this for a very long time. So because I don't run as much, 100 miles is a lot for me. But I could, next month, I might push it. I don't know. I'm just gonna make sure that it challenges me. It doesn't matter what anybody else is doing. I just make sure that it challenged me. So when someone said 50 burpees, and I'm like, man, I can do 50 burpees in like however amount of time that it takes me. I need to double that. So I did 100. But really, like logically speaking, with all that I do, 70 or 80 would have been comfortable. But I got to get out of my comfort zone. So that's why that's why I went to 100. So whatever you're doing, just do a little bit more. If you're not doing anything, just start walking, do something. If you need some assistance, you can reach out to me. You can reach out to the page, Elevate Fitness Orange Park. You can reach me on Instagram at Coaching Greatness. You can ask questions and I can give you some advice to get you going. It doesn't have to be extreme. It doesn't have to, involve weights or anything. It just has to be something.
That's awesome. So if you're not doing anything, do something. And regardless of what you're doing, leave room for that giving that little bit of extra there.
A little bit of extra.
I love it. One of the things Coach Roy says all the time is, we're growing here. He's just like, no, we're growing here. We're challenging ourselves. Like, that's what he says every time I ask him. I'm like, are we really doing this? He goes,
Yeah.
Mike, we're growing here. It's just like, it's almost should
Like,
be a
we
meme
cannot
at this
say the
point.
same.
Yeah,
We cannot say the same.
you
We
know,
cannot say the same.
yeah, I
The
love
same.
it. You know, I love it. I absolutely love it. Ray, thank you so much. They can find you at Coaching Greatness on Instagram, Elevate Fitness Orange Park on Facebook. And of course, when this all blows over, he's an award-winning business owner. Okay, Best of Clay 2019, looking to defend that title right now.
Yeah, we are.
So that's happening right now, and it was just a pleasure. I'm blessed to have you in my life, Ray, and I am going to go run so I don't get behind. So
we're blessed to have you too, man, and thank you for inviting me on. Make sure you get that run, knock it out.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. Thanks, Ray. Have a great evening. And thanks you guys for checking us out. Thanks. That was awesome, guys. Episode number 3, Feeling Fit, Fitness Moment with Ray Carr, owner of Elevate Fitness Gym in Orange Park, Florida. Love that guy. I really have to go run right now. I actually am a little behind on pace, so I'm going to have to double it up. But anyways, I just think that everything he said was well said, and you know, maybe somebody needed to hear it. Again, this has been a dive into my world. That is my personal coach. Love him to death. He's a brother. We've got a great story. I'll have him back on for sure. But anyways, thanks for tuning in, guys. This has been episode 3.